Hi, good evening. My name is Faith. We're gonna have a nice, relaxing vinyasa flow today with some pranayama and dhyana, breathwork and meditation. Please excuse my appearance, but this is a recording. Nobody is in this class. So this is how I'm showing up today. And hopefully I accept myself, which I do. So let's get into the practice. You can meet me on your mat. Let's start off in an easy pose. So I'm gonna go ahead and sit on my meditation cushion. You can sit on a blanket, a pillow, whatever feels good for you today, this evening. First of all, thank you for showing up for yourself. I'm very excited to teach this class and share this practice with you guys. So whatever you're sitting on, whether it be your mat, the floor, a towel, a pillow, ground your sit bones deeply into the earth. Noticing the earth supporting you, stabilizing your body. Maybe you're sitting with your legs crossed, palms sitting on your knees, maybe facing upwards if you need some extra energy. I'm gonna have my palms facing downwards on my knees just so I can feel extra grounded in my body this evening. Taking a deep inhale through the nose, exhaling out of the mouth. Preparing our mind and our body for this practice today, acclimating ourselves to our space. I invite you to look around your room or your space, just noticing what's around you, what colors grab your attention, what objects grab your attention or stand out to you. Just seeing what you can see in your space. I have a Mac Miller vinyl right behind this recording camera. It's very colorful. It's Faces, a mixtape by Mac Miller, so that's definitely what stood out to me. But connecting that, my ex gave it to me, so maybe I should release that and give it away. Letting go is a practice in yoga. Letting go, creating space for newness, creating space for new experiences. Anyway, looking around your room, maybe identifying an object that you can focus on if you ever become overwhelmed with your internal self at any time during this practice. Being able to just open your eyes and focus on that object, knowing that you are safe. You are safe in this space. You are safe on your yoga mat, and you're safe in your body. I invite you to begin turning your practice inward, maybe closing your eyes or softening your gaze. Taking a deep inhale through your nose, exhaling out of your mouth. Noticing if you feel any different with one of your senses removed. Notice if you're able to focus on your breath. Notice the coolness of the inhale and the warmth of the exhale. I invite you to place your palms on your belly, and as you inhale, paying attention to your stomach expanding in your hands. Exhaling, feeling your belly contract. Inhaling, feeling that expansion. Exhaling, feeling that release. I invite you to continue with this practice, maybe placing one hand on your tummy, one hand on your chest. Noticing your breath moving through your body. Observing the rhythm of your natural breathing. Paying attention to if your inhales are short. Maybe your exhales are long. Just noticing how your body operates. And we'll move into a little bit of pranayama. We will inhale for 4 seconds and exhale for 8 seconds. So exhaling actually activates the parasympathetic nervous system. And since it's the evening time and we're winding down, we want to be able to relax and activate our parasympathetic nervous system, allowing us to go about our evening in a peaceful manner. And just to note, inhaling activates that yin energy, or that yang energy, active energy, stimulating energy, whereas the exhale is calming. Inhaling activates the sympathetic nervous system. Exhaling activates the parasympathetic nervous system. And I know you didn't ask for all of this, but I have way too much yang energy in my bedroom with all these plants and all these books. So I need to figure out something to balance out all of that. I don't know if you can tell, but I've really gotten into feng shui lately. Back to our breathing exercise. We'll inhale for 4 seconds, exhaling for 8. I'll count you off and then you can go at your own pace. Inhaling for 4, 3, 2, 1. Exhaling for 8, 7, 6, 5, 4, 3, 2, 1. Inhaling for 4, 3, 2, 1. Exhaling for 8, 7, 6, 5, 4, 3, 2, 1. Inhale. Exhale. Inhale. Exhale for 8 counts. Inhale for 4. Exhale for 8. Now moving at your own pace. Finish whatever round you're on, and then return to a natural breath. Noticing if you feel any different after a few rounds of that pranayama exercise. Noticing if you're holding on to any tension in your body. I invite you to roll your shoulders down your back, sliding your shoulder blades closer together, opening up through the chest. Reminding yourself to remove your tongue from the roof of your mouth, unclench your jaw. Release your eyebrows. We often hold a lot of tension in our faces. Maybe massaging our temples and softening through our eyebrows and our lips, softening our shoulders, softening through our chest and our abdomen, our spine, our lower back, softening our pelvic floor, softening the sit bones, the thighs, the knees, the calves, relaxing the ankles, your feet and your toes, feeling soft through your whole body, releasing anything that you've picked up throughout your day or maybe your week. And if your eyes are closed, I invite you to blink them open whenever you're ready. Hello. Just kidding. I don't think I would do that in a real practice, but maybe I would. Noticing how you feel after we just did that short body scan. Are you holding on to any tension? Do you feel softer? Do you feel lighter? These are questions to ask yourself, maybe not. Regardless, we're gonna move into our practice. So if you are sitting on a prop, you can go ahead and move that off the mat and meet me on all fours in a neutral tabletop position. Shoulders stacked over your elbows and wrists. Hips stacked over your knees. You can have your toes curled underneath or the tops of your feet flat on the mat. A straight line from your tailbone all the way out through the crown of your head, an energetic line. And we will just take some small circles. So I'm actually gonna put the tops of my feet flat on the mat, and I'm going to bend my body forward, bring my head closer to the front edge of my mat. Then I'm gonna move to the right, moving my whole body with me, pushing my body back as if I'm going into a child's pose. Coming back up, moving to my left, coming back to center, and my shoulders are actually a little bit ahead of my wrists when I'm in front. My shoulders and elbows are behind my wrists when I'm backwards, if that makes sense. So just continuing in this circular motion, moving our body. Reversing directions, doing the same thing you did on the other side. Just circling your body. Noticing what you feel in these circles, paying attention to what feels best, what doesn't feel good. I notice I really like when my sit bones are close to my heels in these circles and I feel a nice stretch in, I don't know what part of the body this is, but I feel a really good stretch there. I kind of want to just sit there, but I'll keep going in my circles. And once you've circled in both sides, you can go ahead and meet me back in that neutral tabletop. We'll take some cat-cows. Inhaling, lowering your belly to your mat, chin and chest up, gaze up. Exhaling, rounding through the spine, pulling your belly button in, gazing at your thighs, pushing yourself away from the mat. Inhaling, lowering that belly back down to the mat, lifting your chin and chest up to the sky, gaze up. Exhaling, rounding the spine, pulling your belly button inwards, pushing yourself away from the mat. Continuing with these cat-cows at whatever pace feels good for you today. Waking up the spine, waking up the body. Or maybe putting it to sleep since it's getting kind of late. Either way, be grateful. I don't know. I feel good. I hope you do too. Coming back into that neutral tabletop, we're going to start to build some heat in our core. So you can have your toes curled underneath. You're gonna press in your palms into the mat and lift your knees about an inch or two off the mat. Remembering to breathe, holding this position. We'll take 2 more deep breaths here. Keeping our core tight. Exhale, lower your knees back to the mat, push back into a child's pose. Arms extended out in front of you, sit bones resting on your heels. This is an active child's pose. On your next inhale, roll your spine forward, back onto all fours. Curl your toes underneath. We're gonna do the same thing 2 more times. So lifting your knees up off the mat an inch or 2, holding here. Inhaling deeply, exhaling slowly. 1 more breath. Exhale, lower your knees back down to the mat, tops of the feet flat on the floor. Push into your child's pose. Arms extended out in front of you. Tummy resting on your thighs. Maybe your legs are wide and your tummy is resting on your mat. Whatever feels good. This is your practice. On your next inhale, rolling your spine back onto all fours. 1 more time, waking up the core. Palms pressed into the mat, feeling that support beneath you. Tuck your toes, lift your knees up off the mat. Hold here for 10, 9, 8, 7, 6, 5. You got it, keep breathing. 4, 3, 2, 1. Lift your sit bones up into the air. Push back into your downward facing dog. The first downward facing dog of your practice. You can pedal your feet, maybe lifting up on your toes at the same time. Feel free to wag your tail. Just moving your body, seeing what feels good. Being present in our physical vessel. Being connected to ourselves and to everything. On your next inhale, step or jump to the top of your mat. Exhale, forward fold. Inhale, lifting all the way up, hands up overhead, gaze up at your fingertips. Exhale, hands at heart center. We're gonna go ahead and I invite you to set an intention for this practice. Whatever resonates with you. I set the intention of having a beautiful evening and a good night's rest. Whenever you have that intention set, take a deep inhale to seal it. Exhale, sending it out to the universe. You are heard. Your intention is heard, and it is done. And so it is. Coming back up to the top of your mat. Toes pointed towards the short edge of your mat. On your next inhale, sweep your hands up overhead, gaze up at your fingertips. Exhale, forward fold. Inhaling, halfway lift, flat back, body at a right degree angle. Exhale, forward fold. Maybe wrapping your hands around your ankles, pulling your chest in, your abdomen and your chest closer to your thighs. It's okay to have a slight bend in the knee if that feels good. Inhaling, root to rise, hands up overhead, gaze up. Exhaling, hands at heart center. And now we will move into our sun south. I hope we all enjoyed that sun breath. Next time for evening practice, maybe I'll do a moon salutations. That sounds good. Inhaling your hands up, gaze up. Exhaling, forward fold. Planting your hands into the mat, jump or step back into a high plank position. Shoulders stacked over your elbows and wrists. Alignment from your tailbone all the way out through the crown of your head. Keeping your core tight, tilt your pelvic floor forward. Move through your chaturanga, high plank to low plank, elbows tucked into your sides. Inhaling into your chest opener, cobra or upward facing dog. Tuck your toes, lift your hips and sit bones high into the air, downward facing dog. Pressing your palms into the mat, arms extended. Gazing at your thighs or your knees. Look in between your hands. Inhale, step or jump to the top of your mat. Exhale, forward fold. Inhale, root to rise, hands up overhead. Exhale, hands at heart center. Again. Inhaling, hands up. Exhale, forward fold. Plant your hands into the mat, jump or step back into a high plank. Moving through your chaturanga into your low plank. Inhaling into your heart opener. Exhaling into your downward facing dog. Look in between your hands, jump or step to the top of your mat. Exhale, forward fold. Inhale, lifting all the way up, root to rise, hands up overhead. Exhale, hands at heart center. I feel like a flower in this pose. So I want to try something new. I want to do one breath, one movement. So for each breath, each inhale, we're in one position, each exhale, we're in the next position, and so on. So we're gonna pick up the pace a little bit, but it's something I've wanted to try for a minute. Let's see, I'm new to it, so. Still at the top of your mat, toes pointed towards the front edge of your mat. Inhaling, lifting your hands up. Exhaling, forward fold. Plant your hands into the mat, jump or step back into your high plank. Exhale, move through your chaturanga. Inhaling into your heart opener. Exhaling into your downward facing dog. Inhaling, stepping or jumping to the top of your mat. Exhaling, forward fold. Inhaling, root to rise, hands up, gaze up. Exhale, hands at heart center. Inhaling your hands up, gaze up. Exhale, forward fold. Plant your hands into the mat, jump or step back into your plank position. Exhale, move through your chaturanga. Inhaling into your upward facing dog. Exhaling into your downward facing dog. Inhale, step your right foot by your right thumb. Exhale, I don't know. Inhaling, coming up into your warrior one. Back foot at a 45-degree angle, pointed towards the top edge of your mat. Hips squared to the front of the room. Arms extended out. Feeling the earth supporting you. I mean, I'm gonna have to explain the pose before I jump into one breath, one movement, you know? From your warrior one, go ahead and bring your arms into a T position, warrior two. Left foot parallel to the short edge of your mat. Gaze over your right fingertips. Hips open to the long edges of your mat. Track your right knee closer to your right pinky toe. Inhale, flip your palm to reach the sky. Slide that left hand down your left leg, opening up into your peaceful warrior. Opening your chest up to the sky. Exhale, back into a warrior two. Inhaling, placing your right forearm on top of your right leg and sweeping your left hand up and over, opening your chest up to the sky. Gaze up. Exhaling, coming into that warrior two. Cartwheel your arms down to the mat. Walk your right foot closer to the edge of the mat. You can even have part of your foot hanging off. And bring your left foot so your toes are pointed towards the top edge of your mat as well. We're gonna move into lizard pose. So I invite you to bend your right knee and bring your right shoulder pretty close to your knee pit. What's important in this position is that your knees and your toes are tracking in the same direction. So if you need to kind of chicken wing your leg out like this, that is not a problem as long as your knees and your toes are going in the same direction. Warming up for our lizard, rocking back and forth, opening up our hips. And whenever you're ready, you can lower your left knee down to the mat, top of your left foot flat on the mat. Breathing here. Keeping your chest open, gazing up slightly ahead of your mat. If you'd like, you can grab a prop. I like to place my forearms here. Or if you're super flexible in this area, you can put your forearms all the way down on the mat, whatever feels good. You can also just keep your palms pressed into the mat. Breathing deeply here, sending the breath to your hips. Thanking yourself and thanking your body for being so supportive. Thanking the earth for being so supportive. Acknowledging how much support we have in our lives that we don't even acknowledge. These wooden floors I'm standing and sitting on. On your next inhale, bring your right knee to meet your left knee in a neutral tabletop position. Taking one round of cat-cows, lowering your belly down to the mat, chin and chest up, gaze up. Exhaling, rounding the spine. Lifting your knees up off the mat, curl your toes underneath, lifting your sit bones up into the air, push back into your downward facing dog. Step your left foot by your left hand, bringing your right foot to a 45-degree angle, pointed towards the top edge of your mat. Lift your body up into your warrior one. Left knee tracking towards your left pinky toe, arms parallel to one another. Tilt your pelvic floor forward, and you'll really feel it right here once you do that. Hips squared towards the top edge of your mat. You can always manually bring your hands down and adjust your body so your pelvic floor is tilted forward or tailbone pointed towards the earth and your hips are even with one another. On your next inhale, opening up into your warrior two, arms at a T, back foot parallel with the short edge of your mat, left foot still tracking towards that left pinky toe, gazing over your left fingertips, hips squared towards the long edge of your mat. Inhale, bringing that right arm to wrap around your back, palm facing the ceiling, leaning back into your peaceful warrior, opening your chest up to the sky, inhaling deeply into this nice side body opener. Exhaling, coming back into a warrior two, arms at a T. Imagine a string is wrapped around your left middle finger, pulling your body forward. Flip your palm to face the sky. Bring your forearm to rest on your left thigh. Sweeping your right arm in front of your torso, up and over your head. Gaze up, opening up through the chest. Breathe deeply here. Make sure your shoulder isn't collapsing near your ears, but your forearm is pressed into your thigh. You have strong arms, strong shoulders. Exhaling, coming into that warrior two, arms at a T. Cartwheel your hands down to the mat. Walk your left foot close to the edge of the mat, maybe slightly off. Bringing your left shoulder, tucking it in close to your left knee. Left knee and left toes tracking in the same direction. Let's warm up for our lizard pose, rocking back and forth. Go ahead and lower that right knee down to the mat, top of your right foot flat on the ground. Breathing deeply here. If you're feeling it, you can place your forearms down to the mat, maybe even resting your forehead on your hands or arms, or you can grab a block. I'm placing my block in the long direction, placing my forearms right there. Still getting that stretch, still gaining the benefits of the posture. Props are here to support us, just like everything else that's supportive. Breathing here, tuning into your body. Taking your time, get rid of a prop if you used one. Palms planted into the mat. Bring your left knee to meet your right knee in a neutral tabletop position. Toes curled underneath. Lifting your knees up off the mat, pushing your hips and sit bones back up into the air, downward facing dog. Take 2 more deep breaths here. Remembering you can always return to a child's pose whenever you feel like it. Gazing at the top edge of your mat. How about we just walk our feet closer to our hands, walking into a forward fold, exhaling, releasing, letting gravity do all the work. Arms dangling, head dangling, everything is relaxed. If you want, feel free to grab opposite elbows and rock back and forth in a ragdoll. Maybe you just have your arms swinging. Eyes closed, just swinging. On your next inhale, lift your body up 1 vertebrae at a time, hands up overhead, gazing up at your fingertips. Exhaling, hands at heart center. We are going to move into some standing postures. So how about we do the lovely tree pose that everyone loves? What a grounding pose to practice during such a grounded-based practice. Anyway, let's start with our right foot, pressing the sole of our right foot deeply into our mat, noticing how that support feels beneath us. All 4 corners of your foot pressed into the mat, toes spread, creating that stability. Lifting your left foot up off the mat, swinging it back and forth, testing your stability today. For this posture, you can either have your toes rested on the mat and your heel resting on your calf. You can bring the entirety of the sole of your left foot onto your right calf. Or if you're feeling spicy, you can bring the sole of your left foot to the inside of your right thigh. I'm gonna go ahead and stick with the sole of my left foot on my calf, making sure that your hips are square and even with one another. And you can extend your hands up and grow your tree. You can cactus your arms out for a nice heart opener. Or if you want another heart opener position, you can interlace your fingers behind your back, pulling that fist down, squeezing your shoulder blades together, gazing up slightly. Or hey, you can just bring your hands to heart center. I invite you to identify a drishti, a non-moving object, to ground your focus. And if you'd like more of a challenge, I invite you to close your eyes. Remembering to breathe. The earth will catch you. Will it? That was kind of a broad statement, but it sounded nice. So I'm going to say it again with more confidence. The earth will catch you. Go ahead and release your arms to the sides of your body. Bring your left leg to a 90-degree angle. Extend your leg, toes flexed. Bring your left sole of your foot to touch the earth. Wiggle out your limbs. Ooh, that was a nice tree. Getting ready to move onto the left side of our body. Sole of your left foot planted into the earth. We are trees. All 4 corners of your foot pressed into the mat, toes spread. Feeling that support, that stability beneath you. Swinging your right leg around, seeing how stable you are. It might be different than the other side of your body. Might be the same. I doubt it though. Because are we the most symmetric beings? I mean, we're pretty symmetric, but are we perfectly symmetric? I don't know. Is anything in nature perfect? Or is everything perfect in nature? Anyway, focus. So the sole of your foot is grounded into the earth. We can do the same thing we did on the other side. Toes resting on your mat, heel resting on your calf. Sole of your right foot on your calf, or the spicy option, sole resting on the inside of your left thigh. Do whatever feels good. Whatever arm variation you did on the right side, do on the left. Look at your drishti. It's not moving, just like you. It's like, I'm sorry I'm so playful during this practice. I hope that you have a sense of humor today, and if you don't, I hope you have a sense of humor today. All right, trees. Go ahead and bring your right leg to a 90-degree angle, releasing your hands to your sides. Extend your leg, flexing your toes. Bring the sole of your right foot to touch the earth. Wiggle out your limbs. That felt good. We're gonna move into a chair pose. You could have your big toes touching, heels slightly apart, or your feet parallel to one another, hip width distance apart. We're going to imagine as if we're sitting in a chair right behind us, keeping an aligned spine. Imagine an energetic line running from your tailbone all the way out to the crown of your head. Arms extended out in front of you, slightly raised, or whatever variation feels good to you. For you, you can put your hands at heart center. Inhale, exhale, sink deeper into the posture. Not arching your back, feeling the strength that you have. You are so strong. Hold here, take another inhale through your nose. Exhale, lion's breath, stick your tongue out. Inhaling, we'll take another lion's breath. Exhaling. One more inhale. Exhale, sink deeper into the pose. I got you, didn't I? Inhale, this is the last inhale. Exhale, release into a forward fold. Woo! Let gravity do the work. Let earth support you. Let gravity hold you. Use nature to your advantage, but it's not like we're even doing anything for earth to support us and gravity to ground us. We just are that, like, we just get that as humans. Let's be grateful for that. We could be floating, but that would also be cool. Anyway, inhaling, rising up, hands extended up overhead, gaze up. Exhaling, hands at heart center. Nice. We're gonna move into Malasana, squat pose. I wanted to focus on our sacral chakra and our hips because I am a woman with suppressed emotions, okay? So you can, if you're pointed towards the top edge of your mat, you can walk your feet so that your toes are hanging off your mat slightly, maybe more or less. Have a block handy if you like to use props. Bring your hands to heart center, and we're just going to lower our sit bone down to the mat, not touching it, placing our forearms inside of our knees, lifting up through the chest, holding the squat pose. If you need, you can take a block, sit it right underneath your sit bones, and sit on it. Still getting the benefits of this posture, still opening up the insides of your hips. Breathe and send the breath to the parts of the body that need it most. Breathe. Next inhale, keeping your arms in your knees, bringing your shoulders closer to your knee pits. Place your palms on your mat, chaturanga arms. We're gonna move into crow pose. And you're gonna just really get your shoulders in your knee pits real close, squeezing your knees to your forearms. Your forearms are squeezing back. Lifting up your hips and sit bones, maybe lifting one foot off the mat, maybe lifting the other, maybe lifting both at the same time and balancing on your hands. I still got it. Woo! Holding your crow, or practice working up to a crow, wherever you're at, I accept you. Coming out of that crow position, step or jump into a high plank and move through your chaturanga. High plank to low plank. Inhaling into your heart opener. Exhaling into your downward facing dog. Take 3 deep breaths, then move into a child's pose. Y'all still with me? All right, let's get it. If you're in child's pose, which I assume you are, I invite you, and I hope you accept my invitation, to meet me into a downward facing dog. Lift your right foot off the mat, coming into a 3-legged dog, flexing your foot. Exhale, bring your right knee to touch your right elbow. Right calf becomes parallel to the short edge of your mat. Sliding your left foot behind you, top of your left foot flat on the mat, pigeon pose. If you notice that your left hip, if you notice that your hips are uneven, you can go ahead and take a prop and place it right underneath that hip. And if you have a second block or something like a block, you can place that underneath your forearms, maybe resting your head on your forearms, or you can do all that on the mat. Breathe deeply here. See what comes up for you in this posture. I'll give you some space. We store suppressed emotions in our hips. And that's why I like to integrate a lot of hip openers into my practice, because I'm big on using emotions to guide us through this human experience. We gotta release stagnant energy to receive new energy, fresh energy. Breathing deeply into your right hip. Accepting whatever comes up. Practicing non-judgment with yourself. Extending love towards yourself. Thank you, body, for supporting me. Maybe giving yourself some kisses, nobody's watching. And if you're using a prop, you can go ahead and remove that from underneath your right hip, pressing your palms into the mat, lifting that right leg back into a 3-legged dog, bending at the knee, taking some hip circles, taking hip circles in the opposite direction. And if you're feeling spicy tonight, I invite you to flip over into a wild thing, bringing your right foot to the opposite side of your left foot, opening your chest up to the sky, gaze up. I used to feel so awkward doing wild thing in class because it's like, what the hell is this? But it's freeing. Bringing your right palm back down to the mat, lifting your right leg back into a three-legged dog. Toes flexed, bring the sole of your right foot to touch the mat, downward facing dog. Inhaling, lifting your left foot up to the air. Exhaling, bringing your left knee to touch your left elbow. Left calf parallel to the short edge of your mat. Right leg slides behind you. Pigeon pose on the left side now. If you need, you can place a prop underneath your left hip to keep your hips even. And it's normal if you feel tighter or looser on this side of your body. Because bodies work interestingly. They're interesting, aren't they? Same thing, you can place your forearms on the block. You can bring your arms down to the mat, resting your hands on, resting your head, your forehead on your hands. Remembering to breathe, allowing yourself to feel, allowing it all to flow. I love you. While we're here, I will show you a variation of pigeon pose. If this just doesn't work out for you, you can flip over to your sit bones on the mat, bringing your spine, rolling it down to the mat. You can take your left leg, crossing it over your right, pressing into your left knee, pressing your ankle into your right thigh, and then just lifting the sole of your right foot upwards. This is another variation of pigeon. Same benefits, you can wrap your arms around your right leg. Notice how you feel in this posture. I feel great. Take a couple more breaths here in your pigeon. Allow yourself to be vulnerable. And whatever pigeon variation you took, go ahead and get rid of any props, meeting me on all fours. Toes tucked underneath, lifting your knees off the mat, pushing your sit bones up into the air, downward facing dog. Extend your left leg up into the air, bending at the knee, taking some hip circles. Reverse the direction. Invitation to open up into a wild thing, bringing your left foot, woo! Yeah, that's why I call it wild thing. Breathe here. On your next exhale, bring both palms back to the mat, lifting your left leg back into that three-legged dog. Toes flexed, bring the sole of your left foot down to the mat, downward facing dog. From your downward facing dog, I invite you to lower your knees down to the mat, coming onto all fours, and sit your sit bones on top of your heels. If this doesn't feel good for you, I always like to put a blanket or a meditation cushion or something soft on top of my calves and sit on that. This always feels nice for me. Thunderbolt pose. Getting acclimated to this new posture. We just did a lot. moving your body intuitively. Please don't judge me, and I won't judge you. Go ahead and extend your right arm up to the sky. Left hand extends outwards, left thumb pointed towards the earth. Wrap your left arm behind your back. Bring your right fingertips to grab onto your left fingertips. If this is not doable for you, I invite you to grab onto your shirt, or you can grab a strap. Same benefits. By the way, make sure your body isn't arched like this. I don't know what's up with my lumbar curvature. To prevent this, simply point your tailbone down to the earth or tilt your pelvic floor forward. You'll notice I say that a lot because I notice it fixes up a lot of the alignment in postures, at least for me, in my body. Anyway, back to this cow face pose. Press the back of your head into your right elbow crease. Feeling that stretch in your right arm, maybe your left too. For more of a challenge, extending from the waist, you can bring your torso closer to the mat. Exhale, coming back into a neutral thunderbolt, releasing your arms. Other side, extending your left arm up to the sky, right arm extends out to the side, right thumb pointed towards the earth. Right arm wraps behind your back, left fingertips come to grab onto your right, pressing the back of your head into your elbow crease. Alignment from your tailbone out through your crown, allowing yoga to work for you. Feeling that nice stretch. Maybe it feels a little different on this side. Inhaling deeply, exhaling. Maybe bending forward for more of a challenge. Holding here for a few more breaths. Releasing your arms. Neutral thunderbolt pose. Go ahead and get rid of a prop if you used one for this posture. And meet me in a neutral tabletop. From here, we're going to prepare for our headstand. So I like to create a little tripod for my head. Go ahead and place your forearms down onto the mat, creating a triangle. Interlace your fingers, creating a little basket to press onto the back of your head. And you don't have to go into the full headstand, but you can just follow these steps to prepare yourself for when you are ready for your headstand. So pressing your forearms into the mat, hands in a little basket. Nuzzle the crown of your head into the mat, letting the basket support the back of your head. Lifting your knees up off the mat. Walk your toes closer to your elbows. Keeping a strong neck. If headstand is a part of your practice, you can go ahead and do that. If not, I invite you to lift one leg up, maybe lifting the other, and just practicing, getting the same benefits of a headstand. One more inhale. Exhale, lower your knees down to the mat. Letting go of your head, coming into a neutral tabletop. Bring your body around so your sit bones are resting on the mat. We are going to move into a shoulder stand now. So roll your spine down onto the mat, one vertebrae at a time. And I like to rest the soles of my feet on the mat as I prepare for a shoulder stand. Extending your legs up to the sky, soles pointed towards the heavens. And using momentum, just rock your body up a little bit, enough so you can grab your lower back with your hands, and then Your forearms are supporting the rest of your body. Hold here, remembering to breathe. You are supported. Your shoulders are supporting you. One more inhale. Long exhale. Begin to bring your knees towards your forehead. Bring your toes behind your head. Plow pose. Extending your arms flat on the mat. Breathing here. This is a constricting pose, so remembering to maintain a breath. And slowly coming out of your plow, rolling down one vertebrae at a time. Coming into a mini Shavasana. Sit on top of your forearms as we move into a fish pose. Pressing into your forearms, rest the crown of your head on your mat. Lifting through the chest, feeling that huge chest and throat opener. Inhaling, exhaling, imagining a blue ball of energy swirling at your throat. Fish poses, opening up your throat chakra in real time. Hold here for one more breath. Exhale, release your body back down onto the mat, soles pressed into the earth. We'll do a bridge. So walk your fingertips close to your heels. You want to have your spine flat on the mat, so if you need to, again, tilt your pelvic floor forward to do so, go ahead and do that. And lifting one vertebrae at a time, soles doing a lot of the work. Lift up into your bridge. You know how to do a bridge, go ahead and lift up into your bridge. Not clenching or squeezing your sit bones. That's not the point of this posture. Letting your legs support you. Breathe in here. You can take some cleansing breaths. On your next exhale, slowly lower back down to the mat. You can take one more bridge or option to follow me into a wheel. If you're moving into a bridge, go ahead and do that now. If you're coming into the wheel with me, bring your palms to touch the mat on opposite sides of your head, fingertips pointed towards your feet. Bring the crown of your head to touch the mat and lift up. Woo. Huge body or heart opener, chest opener, full body opener. I love this pose. It used to be so scary for me, but now I feel so free. We're gonna come out of this, lower your crown back onto the mat, coming out of the wheel or lowering out of your bridge. Nice job. You can extend your legs onto the mat and take a little mini Shavasana. Catch your breath. Notice your breath. Whenever you're ready, you can roll onto one side and press yourself up into a seated posture, legs extended out in front of you. Inhaling your hand. Oh, let me give you some time to do that. I'm sorry, I'm jumping right in. Sit bones planted into the earth. Alignment from your tailbone out through the crown of your head, and I know you're tired of me saying that, so I won't say that again. Inhale your hands up overhead. Exhale, grab the outsides of your feet, extending from the waist. Pull your chest closer to the tops of your feet. Maybe lowering your chest and your head down to your knees. Breathing here. Release this, coming back up into an extended seated pose. Open up your legs. And we're just going to do head to knee pose. So turn your torso so it's above, aligned with your left leg. Inhale your hands up. Exhale, folding over that left leg. I like to bring my right hand and grab the outside of my left foot, feeling a nice twist in the right side of my body, as well as in my leg. Bringing your head closer to your knee, because it is called head to knee, huh? Lifting your body up. Same thing on the other side. Turning your torso to face your right leg. Inhaling your hands up. Exhaling, bending over your right leg. Your left hand grabbing the outside of your right foot. Bringing your forehead to touch your knee. You know what feels good? When after I grab the outside of my foot to kind of like open up my chest to the room and gaze up over here. So I'm getting a stretch in my leg as well as in my left side body. So you can play around with it. One more breath. Exhale, lifting up. Bring the soles of your feet to touch. Six-pointed star pose. Legs in a diamond shape, making sure your heels aren't too close to your pelvic floor. Extending your hands up overhead, interlocking your Kali Mudra, fingers interlaced, pointer fingers and thumbs pointed outwards like Charlie's Angels. Exhale, bringing your hands to wrap around your toes. Not grounding your spine, but like pulling your chest closer to your feet. Breathe here. One more breath. Coming out of this pose, extend your legs out in front of you. Bring the sole of your right foot to the outside of your left knee. Extend your left arm up to the sky. Bring the outside of your left arm to the outside of your right knee. Right arm behind your back, twist, gaze over your right shoulder, half Lord of the Fishes pose. Option to bring your left heel to touch your right sit bone. Breathing into this posture. One more breath. Exhale. Extending your legs outwards. Same thing on the other side. Bring the sole of your right foot. Bring the sole of your left foot to the outside of your right knee. Whew, I'm sorry, it's been a long day, guys. But bring the outside of your right arm to the outside of your left knee. Arm or left hand behind you, fingertips pointed towards the opposite direction of the sole of your foot. Gaze over your left shoulder, twisting, breathing deeply. Half Lord of the Fishes. Loosening up any stagnant energy in the body. Remember, you have that option to wrap your leg so that your right heel is touching your left sit bone. Exhaling, we're releasing the posture. Coming into a seated posture with your legs extended out in front of you. We'll move into our final resting pose, our well-deserved Shavasana. So bringing your arm, and if you feel the need, you can take any postures now that we may have not practiced during this practice. Maybe a happy baby or anything that feels good in your body right now. I'm gonna go ahead and take a happy baby actually. If you're not feeling any of that, go ahead and just move into your Shavasana. But if you're in happy baby with me, you can just play around with it, extending one leg, extending the other. It's okay to be silly. It's literally called happy baby. Extending your legs at the same time. All right. Now we'll move into our Shavasana, extending our arms out in front of us, rolling back onto our mat, one vertebrae at a time. Sinking deeply into the earth. Bringing our focus to our body and our mind. Resting in this posture. Come back to your body. Maybe introducing some small movements to your fingers and your toes. I invite you to take a big good morning stretch, stretching out your whole body, breathing in deeply. Rolling onto one side of your body, taking your time with it. Maybe you want to stay in Shavasana for a while. I like that for you. I love that for you. Pressing yourself up into an easy pose. Maybe placing your palms on your heart. Coming back to that intention you set at the beginning of the practice. Thanking yourself for showing up today, showing up on your mat. Your body loves you for it, but you're loved anyway, unconditionally, no matter what. Take a deep inhale through your nose. Exhale out of your mouth. Feel free to join me in Om. Inhaling through your nose. Namaste. Thank you, thank you, thank you so much for practicing with me. If you have any questions, comments, or concerns, feel free to let me know now. Again, thank you so much for practicing with me. I hope you enjoyed it, and I hope you have a peaceful rest of your night. Mwah. Love you.